In this video, we'll give you a quick overview of the new machining functions available within version 15 MillPro Plus. So we've started the software, and if we go into the milling tab here, the options are situated under the advanced machining icon here. So if we choose that, then this is the dialog box that you would use to create all of the machining operations in the new version. So under feeds, this is where we can set up the feed rates, and we can set up the spindle speed for various functions. Tools are set here and use the same tool libraries as previous versions of the software, and those are created using the objects window here on the left. So you choose the tools from the list that you've created, or from the library of tools that you have created. As well as defining tools, you can set up the operation parameters here and give this a name. Surface paths contain the main machining options that you have. There are three main options. They are surfaces, which is used for finishing machining, triangle mesh, which is roughing, finishing, profiling, etc., and wireframe, which is used for 2D geometry and 2.5D machining. Each one of those has their own set of sub-options, which will be covered in subsequent videos. For instance, surfaces here, there's a range of different options there. And the same with wireframe, we have different options here for things like engraving, trochoidal machining, and so on. The main one that will be used for most machining operations is triangle mesh. And if you choose that main option, then there are a few sub options here. Link items determine how the tool will link between various areas of the machining and whether or not ramping will be used. So if the surface path is something other than roughing, then under the links tab you have a list of quite a few options for lead in and lead out operations. And this is where those options are switched on or enabled. We go back to roughing. Under the roughing tab here, there are different options of how you approach and different ways of defining stock. So if you choose stock definition, you can choose the stock from a bounding box, which can be made bigger or smaller than the original model. You can choose part silhouette, so that the silhouette of the part will become the stock options. You can also define different surfaces. So for instance, if you have a roughing, casting, or a forging model, you can use that as a stock definition, or you can use 2D containment curves. Under the utilities tab, depending on the type of toolpath options that we've specified under surface paths, there may or may not be any entries here, and if there are, then you can use them as required. So that's the main new dialog box. So all of the functions are contained within here, and you access those from the advanced machining icon on the milling ribbon.